It's MistaJam on Capital Dance. It's time to roll out the red carpet for a very, very special guest. He's not only the holder of this week's Jam Hot Record of the Week, but the holder of what possibly could be my favourite record of the year. Studio crew, please make some noise for Joe Rolét!
Thank you. It was a very, very nice introduction there.
Joe, honestly, no hesitating. It's one of those records that as a producer I listen to, and I've listened to it, and I've listened to it, and I've listened to it, and I've gone, this is just, you can't pick it apart. Every decision that you have made in that production is perfect. It's an impeccable tune.
Thank you. I don't really know what to say to that. I'm not even going to tell you I did that on purpose. It just came out my head.
Really?
Yeah. Obviously, I built it a certain way, but yeah, it just sounds to me that just makes sense as they're coming along.
Wow. Well, I mean, look, we have to talk about the record because it is the reason why you're here. Take me back to the genesis of the idea. What came first? Was it you made a beat and then tried to find a vocal, or what?
Yeah, it was always drums, really. I always start with drums. It's off of an album that's unreleased. So there's like another 11 tracks with it. So that's just one of 12.
What?
Yeah. So as I was going through, I like to make more long form music these days because then I get to stay in the studio more. I don't have to necessarily release EPs. I've released a few bits here and there, but I haven't really been one of those guys who's put out a ton of music.
Mm.
I tend to sit on my music a lot more. So yeah, with this one, it's basically my third album, and I was going through like a story from start to finish. So the first tune might have, say, less drums in it, but it'll have sub bass in it. Then the second one will slam a bit. Then there'll be like a vocal on the third one, or I might drop the pace and take the hi-hats out. So it's like a story from start to finish. And that's track 9, I think, out of 12, because it was built as a mix. So it's like a production mix. So you listen to it from start to finish. So that's how I made it. So that was like track 9. So yeah, just made it on my laptop when I was in Dubai. Made the beats and the bass. The bass is obviously old like LFO bass, which I was heavily into dubstep years ago when I was at university and stuff.
Yeah.
I know you liked a bit of dubstep.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I just flicking through sounds and presets and that, found that wobble, messed about with it, and there's a step sequencer in it and messed about with it. Dropped that on there, and then I basically copied the same pattern and changed the sound for like the chime bells that come in, put them some more sort of tech bleeps and that, and when it dropped, it obviously had a lot of energy on the impact, but it needed something, it needed a vocal. So I found the vocal from a Toolroom sample pack, and it's from a vocalist called Loa, and that just took it over the edge.
Wow. The way that you've laid that out is just, everything is, you couldn't have planned it.
No, it wasn't planned at all. And out of the 12, if you were going to ask me which one would have done the best or which one did I think people were going to like the most, that wouldn't have even been in the top 10. It was not say number 12, but it was, yeah.
You didn't think much of it?
No, not really. And it actually sounds like a track I made before that's come out called Into Systems. It's almost like very similar. It's got a similar bass line, similar style of vocal on the drop. And if you're asking me to be totally honest, I actually prefer that. Yeah, I'm not really one for lying. I prefer Into Systems.
I mean, to be brutally honest, as an artist, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be critical of your own work. You're supposed to go, I could do better than that, and I've already done better than that. Yeah. But also, it's fantastic for you to be able to say that, because anybody that is just discovering you through this record, guess what? There's a better one.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's an album before, but we were having conversations outside, about this. But I'm quite eclectic in terms of what I can make and what I do. I don't just make one thing. So my back catalogue, it's to people that know me, they will say that sounds like a Joe record for whatever reason. But it's quite wide in terms of what I can make. But that's obviously a reflection of how long I've been doing it and the amount of records or scenes I've gone through since I started, which was 25 years ago.
That's crazy.
When I started buying vinyls when I was doing a paper round, when I was 12. So all those records and all those different scenes that I've gone through as I've aged, that's all in me through experience and what I've listened to, and it's just all ingested, it's just built into me now. So when I make something, it's never really one thing. It's just all of that, like a hybrid of everything I've taken in. And I was lucky to be born in the UK, in London, when I was. So we're talking like the 90s onwards, really. For me, was the sweet spot of like club music and dance music. It's still good now. Of course it is.
No, but it is still good now. But everything now feels like it was informed by what was brand new over that period of time.
Yeah.
Because there are so many producers like your good self who understand dance music and are able to take different textures and put it into something that feels fresh.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've got those nods.
Yeah, 100%.
To dubstep. You've got those nods. There's a sub bass in this.
Yeah.
The nod to sound system culture.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, dubstep did turn into something very different. But the thing that I love about where we are right now within dance music is A, that dubstep sound seems to be coming back.
Yeah.
And B, that has informed the house music that is coming out of here.
Yeah.
And you can hear that influence in a record like No Hesitating. You can feel it.
Yeah. I think so. I think a lot of the younger guys who are coming up now in probably their mid-20s, it's a lot more synth-led, what they're making, which for me, I'm into. Obviously, I like the more dubbed out stuff, but the synth stuff is a bit more. It sounds better on a phone. It cuts through better on a sound system. Like, it's just more. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's better. It's just the way it's gone at the minute. Everyone's kind of into that sound, and I'm into it. I was doing it before. I kind of stopped doing it, and now I'm kind of going back into it. But yeah, those sounds. A lot of people are using Fruity Loops, which is where most of the early dubstep came from.
All the dubstep, all the grime was made on Fruity Loops.
Yeah, so some of these guys that are making the more like minimal house, the sort of, a lot of it is almost trancey now and stuff. And I can hear I know what they're using. I can hear the presets. They're like, a lot of them are old dubstep presets. And it's sick that they're being reused again.
Yeah.
In a nice way, in a fresh way.
In a club way.
Yeah.
But also on records that are defining the sound of the club and then crossing over into the situation where right now we're playing it all day, every day on this station.
Yeah, I've heard. I was saying I have a lot of mates in construction, and I get pictures of it being played in the van because it comes up with the artwork, and they send me it all the time. And they won't just send me it once. Every time it comes on, they feel like they've got to send me a picture. No, I love it because then I know it's getting played because I'm not always by the radio or whatever. But yeah, it's such a nice thing. Everyone's just so excited. For me, around me, and everyone I don't know is excited. It's been such a mad few months. And it's like long overdue, but I wasn't disappointed before it happened, if that makes sense. I was happy to just, even though I've had peaks and troughs where I thought I was going to break through, but I didn't. I just had to remind myself that I was only ever in it to make music originally.
Is that what kept you going?
Yeah, because before social media was a thing, I was at it from when I was like 12 on Fruity Loops on a laptop in my bedroom. So going through someone's phone or going on the internet for someone around the world to give me a nod or to like it or not, that's a major part of what goes on now in a good and bad way. But that was never why I did it. And that doesn't give me the best satisfaction. It's nice that people like what I do, but that's only the cherry on top. Favourite thing for me is to, probably shouldn't say it at the minute, is to just be in my headphones making loops. And
you should say it.
Yeah, and I'm just excited
I can see the headline now.
Yeah.
Producer likes to produce. Shocker.
Yeah, but a lot of the boys who used to be really good, they've had their boost of profile and then they start touring a lot. And a lot of people who tour a lot, naturally don't make the best music anymore because of like occupational hazards, touring, they're not settled. I have drips of it where I might be in here or Dubai or there. And it's, you like to be settled to make the music you got to make. But yeah, I'm just excited to just get back at it because I'm not that busy like some of these. Like, I'm like, I can be at it every day. And it's giving me for now, and it gives me an edge, and it's nice. My favourite thing, the travelling's long, DJing's obviously sick, but it was always my number one. But yeah, I just spent a lot more time doing this, and that's why, like I said earlier, with the long form stuff, I can just isolate and just make tunes, and it's almost as I've got older, I prefer that. Doesn't mean I don't like going out and partying and gigging.
You don't listen. It doesn't need to come with a disclaimer. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but rolling out. Making tunes is my favourite things to do in my life. Everything else is just waiting.
Talk to me about how you managed to get No Hesitating to Jamie Jones.
I went to a restaurant, and then I'd finished the album masters and mixed them down, and then I got the masters email back that day when I was at Sunwaves, and I sent it to Chris Stussy. So Chris has played some of my previous releases, like Minimal Rolling, and he played the old Infuse EP and a few other things that I've done, and everything I kind of sent him, Select Me as well off the last album. So he would play everything I sent him. So I knew we had a good relationship going on. And then when I was at Sunwaves, I got the masters back on my phone on email, and I sent them to him, and I was like, have a bang on these. And then he's like, yeah, these are sick. And then that was it really. I just carried on, went back to work, spoke to Callum. I said, look, I've got these tracks here. We're going to send them about, see if we get any bites. If we don't get any bites, we'll just slap it out ourselves in September on our own label, which is called Planetary Notions, which is what our parties were called. So I was like, worst case, we'll just put it out so it's not wasted work, because the last album was self-released on Planetary Notions as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was it. Gave it to Chris, went back to work, and then I was at work one day, and then somebody was like, sent me a video of UNVRS, the Paradise opening. Oh, and I was like, I was at work, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, whatever. And then my mate was like, what do you reckon? And I was like, what's that UNVRS, the new club? I was like, yeah, it looks sick. He's like, no, put the volume up. Where I was at work, I didn't listen to the volume. I turned it up, and I could hear my drums, and I was like, no way. And then basically it was the tune. And what had happened is Chris had gone to play his set at UNVRS, which was at the Paradise opening, and Paradise is Jamie Jones's party. So it was the first night of him there at the new biggest club in the world. And Chris is obviously super popular. Everybody wants to hear what he's doing. And he started his set with it. And somebody from one of those pages on Instagram, I forget the name of it, basically captured his first tune, which was my tune. And he took it from the edge, and it dropped. And it popped. And by popped, I mean there was a crowd reaction to it.
Oh, I know. I saw that video.
Yeah.
Everyone saw that video.
So that's how it started. So big up Chris, because he was like playing my music from 5-6 years ago. So he's a G for playing it. Yeah, and he started a set with it, and then that video went there, and then they all just started ping-ponging about the videos. And then I heard from Jamie at some point. Further down the road, he got in touch, and then we spoke. I sent him the album, and he was asking obviously for that tune, and yeah, he just said that he heard it and was like, "Oh, that sounds pretty mad, that tune." And then he said he heard it the second time, and as soon as the second time he heard it, he knew. He was just like, "Get out of the way," sort of thing. Whose tune's this?
Yeah.
And then he obviously asked Chris or whoever was playing it at the time, because there's a few people that had it. And then, yeah, then he came and found me, and then we had some conversations about the record. And, yeah, we worked out a deal for the record to be signed to Hot Creations, which was obviously a massive thing for me because I've been listening to Hot Creations and I've been going to Paradise for 15 years. I was in Ibiza when him and Lee Foss came through, and then they started Paradise. I was there in the first season they started it. So
wow.
I've known about him and what them lot have been doing, and we've been there many a night over the past 15 years, having some of the best times of our life.
So a full circle moment on the 15th year of Hot Creations existing.
Yeah.
This is one of that label's biggest releases of the year.
Yeah.
For you, as someone who was there 15 years ago,
yeah.
at the start of Hot Creations.
And to obviously get backed by, you know, the gaffer himself, Jamie Jones is obviously...
He doesn't back anyone.
Yeah. From what I'm hearing, I don't think he really does stuff like this regularly. But yeah, just big love to him and for all of his team and all of his label and the backstage and the Paradise lot. Obviously, I was over there a few weeks ago and I played the Paradise, which was obviously wicked. I also played for MistaJam for Skepta's party at the Carl Cox closing. So I ended up going from being at work to then all of a sudden playing in the biggest nightclub in the world twice in like 3 nights. So from Sunday, I played there Sunday, and then Jamie's is on the Wednesday. So twice in 1 week, I was in 2 different rooms. So the only room left to play in is room 1.
Next year.
And Jamie's got my number, so
next year. Listen,
Jamie, you know what time it is, mate.
Jamie, place the call.
Jamie.
Place the call.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, we've heard the story about No Hesitating and where it comes from and the album, but I want to know more about you. I want to know more about the man behind the music. So, 12 years old, you start making music yourself. What was it that got you into wanting to be the person that was making dance music rather than just listening to it?
I don't know. I think I would say, just at school, just come from a slightly different generation. Like, people were probably DJing a bit younger then. I don't know. Everyone usually had an older brother. My older brother used to mix. Everyone at school's usually got an older brother who can mix. I had my best friend's neighbour was like 2 years older than us, Jacob. He taught me how to mix. So I'd go to my friend's house and then we'd go play football and then we'd go to his for a mix. So he taught me how to mix on old garage records. So,
let's be honest, if you can mix old garage, you can mix anything.
Yeah, basically. So I got in there early at 12 with somebody that who knew what they were doing, basically. He's a wicked DJ. He's retired now. I've got his records, but he taught me everything I know in terms of beat matching and all the records. Like, whatever he had, I'd then buy. And it just built from there. There used to be record shops in Ealing. We're from Ealing. It was Cage Records in West Ealing, and there was D-Vinyl, I think it was, in Northfield. So, like, to be able to finish school and then go and buy a record down the road on the way home was just normal compared to, say, now. So just buying vinyls. And then there used to be, like, in the old DJ mags, all of the old decks would be like a Argos catalogue, you remember?
Yes.
So on the back, there'd be, like, package deals, Newmark, Gemini, Sound Labs. So I bought some Sound Labs. I bought some Sound Labs for £185. I remember. And it was like in a box. It was 2 decks and a mixer for 185 quid, and it come with the needles and everything. But the platter was like this, It wasn't slanted like the Technics one. It was upright like an actual record player that someone's parents might have or something like that. So you had to be really delicate on them because too much attention to try and slow it down to get your beat matching right, and the record would stop. So I learned, obviously, through hard practice I knew how to work them. And then I just think, because I had to study really hard to do the basic beat matching stuff, everything else after that was just kind of easy. And the production stuff came from, like, crack software at the time. People had copies of Fruity Loops. I got given one. And, my dad had an old laptop at the time, luckily, and I just managed to get the crack and put it on there. And then I just started making tunes. But this was you got to remember, this is pre-internet, this is pre-YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't go and type in how to make dubstep, how to do this, how to do that. Everything was just like, you just taught yourself. Or in my case, you would come across other boys in the area who were maybe a bit older, like I said, who had the records, and then you'd get taught in person by someone who was a bit further up the road than you. So that's kind of what happened with me. I got it, started making some tracks, and then, it was more sort of, it was dark grime at the time. So like 140 BPM stuff. This was like years before Midnight Request Line came out, which for me was when the dubstep thing started. Yeah. So years before that. And just from there, basically, I never stopped.
It's weird because as you're talking, I mean, I'm a good few years older than you, but I do remember that time. At that time, I was working in youth clubs because I'd come from the youth club and gone through, and then I was teaching the younger kids how to make beats, and it just clicked. If it wasn't for cracked programs, we wouldn't have so many.
Like,
we're not condoning breaking the law, but now it's all subscription based. If it wasn't for the fact you were able to get these programs to make music, we wouldn't have dance music where it is right now.
100%. I didn't know, nobody was buying software or downloading. So it come on a physical CD, and the Fruit Loops was a big box like this. Yeah. And it was on version 1 or 2 or something brand new. But I buy everything now.
Because we've got no choice.
Just out of respect. I buy everything now because the way these lot are upgrading operating systems every couple of years, it's just a nightmare. So you're better off just having it.
And also for anyone that is listening right now that is under the age of 27, it's now FL Studio.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But I learned on that, and I taught myself really, and learned a few things from some of my friends, and then that was kind of like the dark grime stuff, and then it moved on to the dubstep stuff. And then there's a few boys from where I live, Silky and Quest from Antisocial. They were serious dubstep producers, and they were in with Deep Medi and Mala and everyone like that. And they were Silky's from Hammersmith, so we knew each other kind of. He did some big grime tunes, No Help, No Handouts, with No Lay and a few other things. So I was kind of DJing on all pirate grime, Freeze FM, Rinse, everything anyway. So we just kind of knew each other from being around the way. And then I got in with Silky, and then, he taught me a lot. He was like an absolute wizard. I think he even teaches it now. So if anybody wants to get on their fruity properly, go and look him up, because he's a wizard.
Absolute wizard. And
his music's insane. His music's
moments.
insane. It's insane. I got in with him. He taught me some stuff. Then I went up to uni in Leeds, and that's when we were doing the raves, dubstep raves, and getting the sound systems in. And then we kind of went fully into that game, and we didn't miss. Yeah, this was like Plastic People, Forward Rinse, Why Not Festival. Like we were at everything, but as ravers, so we like nothing more than just getting in front of that stack. And these were the times where Scream and Mala and everyone were obviously the guys. So we know what it's like to be in front of that speaker when the tune you want to hear comes on. So everything that I make now, that's in there. And this tune that we're talking about today, No Hesitating's got that classic impact to it. Obviously, there's the breakdown in it, and there's a bit of silence, but that's all tactical. It's to let the stack reset and for people to be like, just be like, what's going on sort of moment.
It's a soundboy house tune.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I'll take that all day. Yeah.
But where did the house music love come from?
The house music came from, so when the dubstep stuff kind of like changed and it got a bit more squelchy. I'm doing my best here to not name names, but they're just a new sound kind of went over to the States.
Yes.
If you like. And it got a bit squelchy. Too squelchy for me anyway. And then
they took Koki's template and turned it up to 11.
Yeah, like everything was just... Mate. I don't even know... Yeah. It's going to be hard for me to tell what you've just done, because that's you hit the nail on the head. But everything, all the cut-offs were just all the way this way now. Yeah. Whereas the whole point of dubbing something out is to remove the highs, so it's more round and weighty. So I went from everything being dubby, underground, and quite not lo-fi, but just nice and round, to all of a sudden being like wham, and that was just like, for me anyway. It just didn't agree with me, coming from the music that I'd come from the 10 years prior to that. So that got a bit dry. And I was like, okay, I'd finished uni, and then I went to Ibiza for the first time when I was like 21, 22 or something. And then this is exactly what happened. And then we went to Space. We stayed in Bora Bora in Jet when that was going off, and they had the daytime party in Bora Bora. It was a different island then. Yeah, it was. Let alone the people that have come in before me, what they say went on. But for us, it was Bora Bora during the day. It was free. You could go to the shop, get Desperado beers or whatever, and then bring it back on the beach. So to have a party in Ibiza when we were going, it wasn't that expensive. No. Everybody could afford a few beers from the corner shop, and then you could bring it on the beach, and no one was telling you couldn't. So already I was like, oh, this place is mad. And then someone's like, we're going to go to Space for Carl Cox. Revolution it was called, and it went on Tuesdays. So we went, and it was just like, what? Like, what is this? Like, I went there, and then he was rolling it out, mad, like tough techno, and I was trying to get my head around the sounds, and then all of a sudden this giant bedsheet came out from the front. Everybody's like in a pickle, boozed up, whatever. And then like this bedsheet just comes from the front, and we're like, what's going on? And you start tripping out. And basically they used to get this massive bedsheet across the front of the dance floor, and then people would push it back, and it'd open up, and it'd cover the whole dance floor. It was like perfectly cut. Yeah. And everyone would be holding it up. So you'd be partying under a bedsheet for like a minute or two, and then the bedsheet would disappear back down the front. You'd roll it back or whatever, and I was like, wow, that's mad. Like, what even was that? And then somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and there's a robot that used to come out on stilts.
Yeah.
So you're there at like normal levels, and this robot would come out. He's like 10 foot, looking like something out of a Marvel movie with like lasers on and stuff. And this was like, he'd be walking around in the middle of the dance floor, and you'd be like, all these mad things that Ibiza's famous for. When you're coming from West Indian Centre or Tudor Rose in Southall, where we come from partying, like that stuff was just like,
what is this?
Yeah, it blew me away. I couldn't believe it. And I've always said this, and this is not something I'm making up now. It was like, this is how I sum it up. It was like, imagine if you play Sunday League your whole life and you love it, and you're like obsessed with Sunday League football. You think that's the thing, and you're like, wow, like I just love getting up on Sunday. I love like playing football with everyone. And then one day, and you don't know anything else exists, and then one day somebody's like, oh, why don't you come? You like football? I'm like, yeah, I love Sunday League. And they're like, oh, why don't you come with me on Saturday to this football game? And you're like, okay, yeah, I'll come and have a look. And then someone takes you to Old Trafford. That's how it was. That's how big the difference was in terms of the effort they put into the party, how big the parties were, how many people were there, and what they were doing. It was like, it went from literally Sunday League vibes, and not to say the dubstep stuff was Sunday League vibes, but in terms of the raves and the kind of...
It's different worlds.
Yeah, and then when I saw that, it was over.
Would you believe that I had a residency?
Where?
Revolution. Carl Cox. Space. That year.
That's what I mean, mate. And we're talking about it. It's like, mate.
I used to play the pre-party on Bora Bora.
Yeah. 10, that's when we used to go for 2 weeks. This is like before people were doing seasons, but yeah, we go for 2 weeks, and it was just, you'd meet so many people from around the UK that were the same age as you, that were just there. Like, I know people now, most people, yeah, Ibiza's still the place to really meet dance music people, because no matter where you go or how long it's been, if you've met someone in Ibiza and hung out with them, you're friends for life.
It's such a pleasure to have you in, man, and your story is just, it's so inspiring. And it feels like what's happening for you right now was meant to happen for you right now. The journey that you've been on to get yourself to this moment is exactly what should have happened.
Yeah, I agree. I think me and one of my dear friends, Elijah, we wanted it early. We wanted it from young. And yeah, it didn't happen, and it's happened at the right time. And I'm glad it's happened now, because looking back from experience, I'm ready now. I probably wasn't before. That's why it didn't happen.
Well, you're ready now for what is a baptism of fire. I know that this is your first radio interview, but with radio, we play games on the radio. So we've got a game for you. And in honour of your Jam Hot Record of the Week, no hesitating.
What is going on?
We thought we would play a quick fire question game. We need first answers only, but crucially, Joe, remember...
I've got no time for hesitating.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Are you ready?
That was sick.
Name a dream back-to-back partner and why?
I'd say Jamie Jones, just because of everything he's done for me recently.
If you could only open your set with one track forever, what track would that be?
No hesitating.
What's the best DJ set you've ever seen live?
I would say EZ at Boulevard in Ealing Broadway back in the day.
A track you wish you produced and why?
I'm going to have to think quickly.
You're hesitating.
Okay, wait. What genre?
Any
genre. I brought it up earlier. I'd probably say Midnight Request Line.
By Scream.
It's always like, I can look back at that tune or listen to it, and it brings up such a sick moment in my life when I used to hear that. The way it just came through compared to everything else that was going on before, I think there's similarities with my track.
Best piece of advice you've ever been given in music?
Just keep making tunes.
And what is the moment you have been most proud of so far in your career?
I'd say the reaction of all of the Raven crew now and the way they've gone off to my tune is the best bit about the whole thing. It's not me playing or my profile, it's everybody having it to my tune.
Joe Rolét, thank you for playing the inaugural and possibly final time that we will play. Give me some noise!